views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
It's time to believe in your own body, mind, and soul. Thrive by Jen takes you through this next hour to help you release your full potential. Jen has been there when the going gets tough, and she's now here to guide you through your own difficulties and help you thrive too. Jennifer Zelop joins Dr. Pat Basile to provide you excellence in self-development and guidance. Sit back and enjoy because you're about to listen to Thrive by Jen. Now, here are your hosts.
Hey, everybody. It's so great to be connecting with all of you. I have been waiting to introduce all of you to someone that understands what it means to not thrive and then to be so firm in conviction about what does it mean to thrive in life? What is it that we can share with all of the others out there that may be stuck, that may be trying to figure it out, and that's what we are presenting to all of you, a fabulous radio series, Thrive by Jen Radio. Jen Zelop is joining me here today. She is my co-host, and she's created a way for us to look at what it means to thrive and how this work that she brings into the world is helping people understand how perfect they really, really are, and why we can rise up from our darkest moments. For many of you, you're going to hear from Jen, in the weeks to come. But most importantly, she is the leader in the field of fitness, transformational work, mindset, nutrition. She can answer your questions, been doing it for 25 plus years as a gym owner and much more. Her thriving nutrition practice sets her apart. Today, she integrates what the body, mind, and the spirit must do to thrive. Jen, it's great to have you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here with you. So excited.
I want to talk about the journey before we jump into this, because,
Sure.
as the weeks go on, we forget to take a look. I've had the honor of meeting you, of working with you, and have seen things just grow, blossom, and explode. And I want to, in a good way, I want to ask you, what has this journey been like here in the past couple of weeks? How have you actually had to use your own model to get to the next level of your life?
That's a great question, and it's been amazing. I mean, it's I guess we're about 6 months in now working together, which is unbelievable, right? When you start this journey, we've had this conversation before where you don't want to talk about what's to come or the work involved, because that's what we get afraid of, or that's where fear kicks in. So we took baby steps, and it's that old saying, right? One step at a time, the staircase will appear. And that's what's happened, literally. And that's part of, I think that's part of using the Thrive program, is each time we worked together, or I needed to do something for the program, or pull something together, it was baby steps, one step at a time. And I let whatever unfold would unfold. But it's been amazing. I mean, I'm a different person than, when we started, and I've learned so much, and that's what I ask, and that's what I share with everyone listening is I threw it out there to the universe about wanting to impact as many lives as possible. And this was the vehicle that was brought to me. So I wasn't very specific in saying I want to do it on radio. I just wanted it to impact as many lives as possible. And so, when Dr. Pat and I first started, she explained to me what it meant to bring together a radio show and what's involved. And there was a lot to it. And again, I would breathe through it and be like, okay, I have the first step in front of me. I'm going to do what she said, and then I know the result will happen.
Yeah. And you know what I love about this is not only did we get to be part of your transformation, but we got to watch it, including a new website. Give everybody your website, because this was part of it. Many people think, Jen, when they talk to us, they think, oh, those radio people. But I've never been a radio person. I've been somebody that has a dream that wanted to reach millions of people. So I didn't really come up sort of in the mold of this, just like you're not in the traditional mold of what we're going to talk about today, right?
Right.
We're
Yes.
here to help people, aren't we?
Exactly. And one of the things that I wanted to do, I wanted to make it easy. I wanted to make it achievable. So we're now faced with a very busy life, a very busy society. People are being pulled in many directions. So whether hours at work, hours at home, raising a family, a multitude of things that keeps us busy, and we've gotten lost a little bit. We've gotten unhappy. We've gotten sad, and we've lost sight of dreams and goals and visions, and we're overstressed. We're uptight, and we can live differently, and we can still go through this busy day, this busy life of ours. So that was a big thing for me, to make this program achievable but easy. Everyday things that we can do that will impact our lives and make it better.
Yeah.
So the website is jenniferzelop.com, and it has been so much fun. We started at nothing. Yeah, we started at ground. It was bare bones, and we've created this.
Yeah. Someone said to me not too long ago, they said, Pat, how do you talk to people about, preparing all their life for their vision? And isn't that what we're talking about now? That all of the work that you have done to get you to this point is why you and I are talking about it. And sometimes I think we feel so unprepared. I know, okay, let me speak for myself. Some days I feel so unprepared. I feel like, how do I help a Jennifer Zelop? How do I help you? And then I just end up doing that. That's what you're doing as well. And that's why you've created Thrive.
Yes.
And what the elements of Thrive how now come to mean. Tell us about that.
So Thrive is about you creating your Thrive life. And you may be thinking right now, well, what's that mean? What does that look like? And Thrive, it's a state of being happy. It's a state of being peaceful. It's a state of being loved, feeling loved, being successful. It's a mindset to reach your happy. So, but it's something that we have every day. It's you transition into living this way. You transition into this state of being, and then you just grow better and better. And it's better than you were yesterday. So it's about achieving, being better today and then being better tomorrow, learning new things and growing, pushing our comfort zones, getting out of those comfort zones and getting into the uncomfortable. And you said it best just now when you said how. You talked about the how, and part of the Thrive belief is releasing that how, right? We get hung up on, we have these dreams and these goals, and even daily, right? Even just daily, it doesn't have to be a goal of saving the world. It's getting up and making the most out of the day.
Yeah.
And how can I do that? But if we put in these elements that I've developed through Thrive, the how shows itself. The how comes up.
Yeah. When we're looking at our lives, just the way you said, too often, we sort of put to the side the idea that we are of value and are worthy to live a life that's about thriving. Don't you find that sometimes that's one of the most difficult aspects of the work, is working with folks that may not think that they are deserving? You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Oh yeah, that's been top in 25 years of doing this. If I could scream from a mountaintop of how worthy everybody is to live their Thrive life, that's what I would scream, because I have the gift of being surrounded by so many people on a daily basis, and I'm given the gift of they tell me their secrets. They share with me what's going on in their life. They share with me traumas. They share with me feelings, and I hold on to that, and it's secret to me. But as I'm walking throughout my day, I'll think about their stories, and I think about their traumas, and I think about how incredibly strong they are, and how resilient, and how amazing, and what they have lived through, or what they're going through. And they take care of themselves. They take care of their families. They go to work, they function, they give back, they volunteer. And they do all these amazing things that I get to look out and see, but they don't feel worthy enough. And yet they're so incredible, and they're so amazing. So that's a big thing in the Thrive program, is showing people their self-worth, is developing that and living that, because, oh my gosh, they're it's so worthy. Just, people are amazing. Everyday people. We're surrounded, we're literally surrounded on a daily basis by amazing people. And it doesn't mean that you have to be a superstar, or your name in the paper, or a million likes on Facebook, or, you're a social media superstar. I mean, literally every day I'm surrounded by incredible, incredible people who everyday people just doing extraordinary things and not feeling it.
Exactly. And that's what today's show is about, is how do we each get to step into this place, regardless of what we may see in our lives on the surface? How do we honor each other along the way? Today, Jen Zelop is going to reveal what Thrive has come to mean to her and to the countless people that she works with on a daily basis. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
Transformation Talk Radio is dedicated to the education and awareness of Lyme disease.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Lyme Talk Radio. I'm Dr. Pat, joined here by
Dr. Nusheen Darvish.
Dr. Pat Basili and Dr. Nusheen Darvish will be bringing the most innovative, groundbreaking information, research, treatment innovations, and stories from those it affects every day.
I'm so excited to be talking about this.
We have so much to share.
Dr. Darvish and I are planning to do is connect the dots.
People suffering with all sorts of chronic diseases, it's time. It is time for them to transform.
Tune into Lyme Talk Radio and help keep our mission strong.
For the loyal listeners out there that have been listening to this incredible show on Lyme disease, we are not going to let you down. We're going to come through stronger and enrich the platform for Lyme disease awareness through Lyme Talk Radio. The message will continue, the conversations will become stronger, and the healing epic.
Are you ready to start winning at the game of life? Lynn Brown, host of Get Into It, Winning at the Game of Life, is here to help you reach places and goals that you never thought possible. Lynn is an intuitive healer with a specialized background in financial healing. She combines her intuitive nature and her wholesome approach to financial planning. To learn more about her financial planning services, contact her personally at intuit.com.
Introducing the Lucid Planet, a digital gathering place featuring cutting-edge, high-vibrational content that will empower and inspire you to become the greatest version of yourself. Visit the Lucid Planet today to stimulate your mind, body, and soul as you connect with a global community of like-minded people. The Lucid Planet is edited by renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly Neff, who is here to help you cope with anxiety, connect to your higher purpose, uncover your true passions, and live your dreams. Dr. Kelly's fresh, compassionate perspective emphasizes growth, transformation, healing, and thriving, even in the face of adversity. Say goodbye to bad news and low vibrational media for good and become part of the larger collective of people working together to navigate the global shift of consciousness and transform the world from within. Join the planet, the Lucid Planet. Visit thelucidplanet.com. Welcome home.
Thrive is what we experience when our mind, body, and soul operate as one. When we thrive, we excel on all levels. Thrive is the mindset that matters. It is essential to our being. Have you ever found yourself looking for the instruction manual on how to thrive? You'll find everything you need to help you feel strong, powerful, and peaceful in your own body. So don't waste any more time. Visit thrivebyjen.com today.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back. I got to tell you guys, I mean, I'm just like, you all as listeners have said to us, and you've said to our networks, this is what we want to hear more of. We want to hear more of thriving. You know, we want to hear more of how our health and our happiness can benefit all of us. How does, Thrive by Jen, what Jen has been through her life, what she's doing in the world today, and the honor that we have had here, all of us on the team, to work with her, including, putting up a new website. That Jessica, I'm telling you, what an amazing team of people. But more importantly, what was it about Jen and the work she was doing in the world that we knew all of you would love? We knew it. I knew it from the minute I talked with her, that this is what you all have asked for. So for those of you out there, we're going to make sure that you learn a lot about Jen and a lot about how you can find out more about her. Before we jump into what Thrive stands for, what's the website? Tell people about it. Tell them how they can connect with you.
Sure. So the website is jenniferzelop.com, and they can visit the website. Our plan is, what we're doing is we have a public page, and then we offer a membership for the Thrive program. So the public page is going to be all about value. So any way that I can provide value out there to people about being happy, growing into your thrive, growing into your dreams and your goals, letting stuff go, walking around in a more peaceful state, walking around happy. That's going to be the goal of the member page, of the public page. The member page then will be all about the action steps. It's basically, I like to call it an instruction manual for creating your Thrive life. That was the demand, and what I was hearing from all my clients through the years was, just tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And it's not that I couldn't tell them what to do, but it's not always that simple where do this and then this happens, because you do this on Monday, but then by Wednesday, we're not doing it anymore. And, part of creating your Thrive life, it's like a muscle. It's a little bit like exercising a muscle. It does take some consistency, but beside being worth it, I made it easy and I made it simple. So I thought, in my mind, when I developed Thrive, I wanted to take it from the perspective of many people. So mommies and stay-at-home moms and working moms and people who work a lot and people who work a little. But I wanted to take everyone's perspective into it. So this is something that you can do at your desk, or you could do it on a Sunday, or you can take 5 minutes and work on an action step and apply it in your life and practice it. And then slowly but surely what starts to happen is you take on this, it's so cool, Dr. Pat. You literally transform. It's like the caterpillar going into the butterfly.
Yeah.
So you start feeling different. You start acting different, and it becomes so natural. So your response, if somebody, if that neighbor normally aggravates you, now all of a sudden the neighbor's not aggravating you anymore, and you're like, huh? I'm like, why isn't that person aggravating me? And so it happens very organically. And that's what my goal was. I didn't want this to be here, do steps 1 through 5, do it exactly the way you're supposed to do it, and there's no deviation. And if you don't do it, it's not going to work, because that's not us, right? That's not how we work.
Right. But what you're talking about is meeting people where they are.
Yes.
This is really the greatest, I think, catastrophe of our time, and especially in the human potential movement, is that we've literally forgotten that this is not an off-the-shelf life, right?
That's right. That's perfectly
This is
right.
not, wait a minute, let me get that can of soup that's going to be the same as the one that, no. But your life's journey has gotten you to the place of not just understanding why this is not my off-the-shelf life, that every soul is precious and unique.
Yes. So yes, absolutely. And every, my mother-in-law said something to me once that's always stuck with me. And the saying is, whether the loss is a little girl losing her doll or a king losing his crown, the pain is felt the same.
Oh.
And what that meant for me was everybody feels what they feel. And it's not for me, to say to you, don't hurt, or get over it, or you're being too dramatic, or you shouldn't feel this and you shouldn't feel that. But what Thrive does is shows you that you absolutely should. You feel your pain, but through pain we grow.
Yeah.
Right? Through trauma we grow. And there's a whole beautiful side to a trauma or a pain, and we can grow and learn and become better, and we can even share that experience with others, and we can help others through that. So you can stay, you could stay in that pain, or you can grow with it and grow from it. So it was like you said, you said it perfectly, is that this isn't, it's not off the shelf. We're all so different. We're all so different. But like you and I were just saying, is that we are all so different, but yet we're all so similar, right? We're so, we go through many similar experiences. You and I have very uncanny, similar experiences. And so we're really very connected. We're really very connected. And it's, so Thrive is more about putting in those tools for handling life and handling everyday life and getting through it, really exuding though, really living life and being there in the moment. And this doesn't, I used to say to so many of my clients, this isn't a guarantee. This doesn't mean bad stuff doesn't happen.
Right.
But when bad stuff happens, there are better ways of going through it, and we can come out better from it, and we can grow from it. So why not do that versus being in a place that keeps us, stuck?
Yeah. Stuck and immobilized.
Yeah. And paralyzed, right?
And paralyzed.
Paralyzed.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is a kind of stuckness that is both in the physical plane, because you work with people on the physical level as well. And when you work with them on the physical level, you see how stuckness shows up on the physical level. I got to tell you, when I got sick, it was really clear to a lot of people around me that it had nothing to do with getting sick and a lot to do with my place in life.
Yep.
But, stuckness doesn't have to become a way of life. I mean, what we're talking about here is looking at places in our lives that have to do with the journey. And that's part of, what you talk about as well. You talk about this idea that, you know what? We also have to trust the journey. That's what the T in Thrive stands for, right?
Yes. Yes, we have to. That's what we need to do. We need to trust in time, in placement of things, in what happens or what doesn't happen, in situations, in friendships that come and go. It's everyday life. This things that happen, and the trust in Thrive is about. It's a belief. It's an understanding and a commitment in our thinking that life is beautiful and meaningful and secure, whether it's, a great moment or, a bad moment, if there's a trauma going on. And I know that's so hard to, especially right in those dark moments, in those bad, horrible things that happen. But there's, again, that trust, that feeling that we have is, there's a whole universe out there that's working for us, that's moving us in the direction that we need to move. So we trust that. We trust that. And you believe that, where the good is on the other side. And it's that old saying, the silver lining.
Yeah.
It's really, it's living it. It's living it. It's really, it's really believing it. It's really believing it.
Yeah, because things happen in our lives. Once we say yes to this, our lives start to change, our world starts to change, and then the way the universe shows up starts to change. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk with Jen about, how do we develop trust? What is that about? How do we do that thing? How do we develop? We're going to take a short break, everyone. We'll be right back. Tune in to the hit show Mouthing Off with Chef Rossi. Chef Rossi mouths off about different subjects in pursuit of breaking down walls and opening up your minds. She and Dr. Pat banter back and forth, taking from the headlines of the day on subjects that reach beyond what goes on in the world into your hearts. And go to theragingskillet.com to find out more and let Chef Rossi know what's on your mind.
Wow. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. This is Talk Radio to Thrive By. I'm telling you, I got to pinch myself some days, because when each of us gets called to do something that we so not thought was in our wheelhouse to do for a purpose that's so much greater than us, we get to show up and shine.
If you would like to show up and shine on the Dr. Pat Show as a co-host or sponsor, send us an email to inspire@thedrpatshow.com.
Brand consultant Jen Morgan is here with Radically Distinct Radio to help you take control of your future and maximize your brand's power to produce results. Whether you're an individual trying to reinvent yourself and launch a new venture, or you're an executive trying to reposition your company to modernize your sales and marketing programs, Jen Morgan and the RAD Method empower you to play to your strengths and show up in the world as your most powerful brand. To learn more, go to jenmorgan.com. That's Jen with 2 N's, Morgan.com, or call 206-972-5366.
The Earth is an ever-changing being. Goddess Light Shamanic Healer Bree Gibbs guides us through the ascending worlds, bringing forth knowledge and truth. As a light creator, she is here to provide new information needed at this time in our evolution. Join Bree as she shares messages from guides, spirits, ascended masters, goddesses, and others. Tune in the second and fourth Monday, 11 a.m. Pacific, and Thursdays, 1 p.m. Pacific for Silver Gaia Radio.
Do you keep attracting the same type of guy over and over? Do you believe all of the good guys are taken and you might be single forever? Hi, my name is Deb Acker, and in addition to being the host of Truth Talk Radio, I'm an intuitive life coach and energy healer. I clear energy blocks to all areas of life, including love. Did you know that many times the thing that keeps us attracting the same type of person is energy related? What if you could complete this pattern for good to attract conscious, loving men? Don't think it's possible? Several years ago, this is where I was, and I went on a journey to figure out how to undo this for myself, and I now help others with this. I love helping clients clear this pattern for good to have the love they so desire and deserve. If this resonates for you and you're ready to be truly done attracting the same type of person, I'd love to gift you with my pattern identification session. Simply contact me on the contact page of my website, deboraacker.com. That's DeborahAcker.com. And let me know you heard about this gift through Transformation Talk Radio. I look forward to connecting soon.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. What I really love about this is just introducing all of you to some incredible people. You know, Jen Zelop is in the house today. One of the things I want to do is just say, if you want to find out more about us, go to transformationtalkradio.com or the Dr. Pat Show. Today, we're talking with Jen about thriving, and we're looking at what Thrive stands for. And, you know, as an acronym, the T stands for trust. And that's the topic for today. We're talking about what is it? How do you develop it? Before we jump back to that, you know, would you again, please let folks know how they can find out more about you?
Sure. So the website is jenniferzelop.com, or you can feel free to reach out to me on Facebook under Jen Zelop, ZELOP. I know it's a little bit of a funky name. But reach out to me. I really do. I love connecting with people. I get to meet so many people in my line of work and what I do, but just, walking around and striking up conversations with people, what I love is everybody has a story, right? Everybody has a story. And I wish we would get to a point where I feel that sometimes we're embarrassed of our stories, embarrassed of our situations or what's happened, but so much comes, so much of who we are came from what we went through. And that to me I love hearing people's stories. So I would love for you to reach out to me and share your story and let me hear it. But that was something that, through what's happened in my life and how trust came to be. And one of the wonderful things that I experienced in developing Thrive, and Dr. Pat, you know this because when we started together, Thrive for me was thriving. It was about exactly that. I was so tired of just surviving.
Yeah.
And so what's the opposite for me? The opposite of surviving was thriving. But through my experience and through my life, all of a sudden, through conversations between us and you really pulling it out of me and me sitting back and meditating on my life experiences, it came to be that there were fundamental elements that fit into developing my Thrive life.
Yeah.
And and the elements that we're talking about now, and trust being the first one, because without trust, the opposite of trust for us is living in fear.
Yeah.
So, fear does some, crazy things for us. When we live in fear, we make decisions. When we make decisions out of fear, they're, usually the wrong ones. We worry, we feel anxious, we can't sleep. It disrupts eating patterns. It disrupts working out patterns.
Yeah.
We're edgy, we lose patience. Fear does an awful number on us.
Yeah.
And the unfortunate thing is that so many of us are living in fear versus
24/7.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even, somebody asked me what I thought the epidemic was of our time. And I was on a health show and they were talking about what did I think right now, people are really struggling with. And I thought to myself, well, we have a lot of disease and, we know about autoimmune and it's on the rise and so forth and so on. But out of my mouth came what you're talking about. And it was fear. I said, where we are right now is at some level, we have an epidemic of fear. At the other level, the opposite is showing up, which is faith.
Right.
And I said, you cannot see one without the other, right?
That's
Jen?
right.
I mean,
That's
you
right.
can't see happy and know that what happy looks like unless you know what sad is, right?
Exactly. And I'm a huge believer in that. So fear, many people, and it's a hot topic right now, right? So living without fear. But fear is an indicator for us. When fear is you for if you haven't really truly experienced peacefulness and trust and faith, so hope, let's use, for trust, let's call it hope. You have many of us have fleeting moments of hope, like, when you feel hope, and it's refreshing over your body, it's peaceful.
Yeah.
You smile, you're like, yes, I see that light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And you feel that. But unfortunately, it's fleeting. It comes, but then it goes. So fear, what it can do for us is, fear is, you feel fear, right? You feel tense. Your face changes. You grit your teeth. You snap. You're edgy. You're snappy. So that's a quick indicator for us. Like, you're like, oh, I'm in fear. I got to move away from fear. I got to move it. I got to get out of here. And part of what I show in the Action Steps and Thrive is how to move out of it, how to get back into your trust, to get back into hope. But it's a muscle. You know what I mean? You have to. For me now in my life, I'm in trust. When I go to fear, it's very quick. Like, it's split. It's interesting. Trust me. When I started this, I started, I would live in fear 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And then as I went through the program and practiced and developed and grew my muscle, it turned into 5 days. Then it turned into 4 days. So now I'm down to, I'll give fear 2 minutes of my time.
Yeah.
And I shift back into my trust. So for trust, it's about building that faith and staying in that hope. But it's also about some of the things that our listeners can do is, it's about removing negativity.
Yeah.
It's about get rid of gossip, get rid of your judgments.
Yeah.
I mean, just simple everyday. This is simple everyday actions that keep you, because with judgment and gossip and not really using as genuine of words and genuine conversations, you're really flip-flopping. You're living in fear, because the fear is, well, that person did this because of. I'm afraid that she or he did this because of this reason. When you're not in that person's head, right? You're not that person, but you living in fear is making you come up with all these stories. So just by staying out of, I call it the judgment-free zone and the gossip-free zone, you're trusting. If someone does something, you're trusting that you're coming from a place of, I'm really going to trust that they had the best intentions until I find out otherwise.
Exactly.
And again, this is daily life. This isn't, I mean, I certainly don't want to, there's certain situations that, are out of the spectrum for our conversation, but this is just really everyday life. You know what I mean? Our everyday.
Right. And how are we going to show up in it?
Exactly.
I mean, the question really is, this is the everyday life that we have, but the question really is, when do I get to show up as me? And I think that's been one of the toughest problems for people, is really looking at the choices that they may or may not think they have. And isn't that what, is happening here with, the narrative that you're presenting, is to say, wait a minute, we do have a choice. each and every one of us has a choice as to what we can do, what we want to do, and how each of us can show up in life. But we may not have the tools. And that's what the Thrive program, is putting together for people. It's saying, wait a minute, you don't have to have the tools, because we can learn those tools together, right?
Absolutely. And later in life, I mean, I'll take this on a very personal level. I mean, some of the traumatic events in my life started, as a child. I was, I called my father a functioning alcoholic because he had to go to work every day. And I called my mom a dysfunctional alcoholic because she literally, she would be drunk, 24 hours a day. There was no functioning there. So, and I can remember as a young girl that, again, like what you just said about choosing to show up. Now, I won't say that I am a firm believer in part of me developing this program. This for me was at the heart of my soul, and it started when I was a young girl, because I did have hope, in those moments of growing up that there was a reason. Right. There was a reason for something was going to come out of this that was going to be very positive. And I trusted and I had hope that there's that light at the end of the tunnel. So, and I don't want to say that I showed up 100% of the time, because I didn't, because I can share with you a multitude of bad choices that I made because they were choices.
Yeah. All of us.
From choosing to not show up. And that was from what was going on with my childhood. But I trusted and I hoped that, even through those dark moments, that there was something better waiting. And I want to share with our listeners that we have free will, and you said it, it's a choice, so you have a choice to show up with excellence or not. And there's a clear difference when you choose to not show up with excellence and to not show up in excellence at all. So
at all. And kind of be like this invisible, this soul walking around in sort of this invisible body, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And we're numbing out, and we're doing a bunch of things that just are just getting us into serious trouble across the board. But that's not thriving.
No. And that at that moment, just to bring it back to the trust versus fear, that's fear. So you not showing up and making those free will choices that are not the best, that's living in fear. That's letting that fear guide you. So it's, and where you have that hope, right? I'm hopeful that things are going to turn around. So I'm going to make decisions that are going to move me in that direction.
Right. And, when we come back, we're going to talk about, wait a minute, what happens in life when we are given a situation, a story that is less than optimal? We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
Thrive is what we experience when our mind, body, and soul operate as one. When we thrive, we excel on all levels. Thrive is the mindset that matters. It is essential to our being. Have you ever found yourself looking for the instruction manual on how to thrive? You'll find everything you need to help you feel strong, powerful, and peaceful in your own body. So don't waste any more time. Visit thrivebyjen.com today.
Do you ever feel as if you're working twice as hard but only getting half as far? Are you trying to connect with your path in life and finding it elusive? Mainstream Metaphysics Radio is a weekly call-in show where we harness our connection with the universe and use what is in our power to affect change for optimal success and happiness. This hit show bridges the divide between what is and what we do not know. Eve, named one of the country's top psychics, also known as the MBA Psychic, invites you on this journey for this live call-in show with readings, featured guests, leaders, and visionaries in both business and spiritual callings. So join Eve Thursdays at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com as she takes metaphysics mainstream. For more information about Eve, visit EliteTarot.com. That's EliteTarot.com.
Are you ready to tap into the healer within? Hi, I'm Mary Jane Mack. Did you know the real doctor is the source that lives within you, that heals within you minute by minute every day? The healer within is the innate intelligence of the human body. When we cut our hand with a piece of glass, we don't have to command the body to close the wound and grow new skin. It knows how to heal itself. We do have to nourish the skin by disinfecting it and remove the glass, or it cannot heal. The innate healer relies upon us to assist in this healing process. Our role is to identify its needs, provide the substances required for the healing, and remove the obstacle. Contact us to achieve optimal health at 888-777-4232. That's 888-777-4232. And visit us at maryjanemack.com.
Get ready to experience Truth Talk Radio with host Deb Acker. Tune in to Truth Talk Radio each Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com to illuminate the truth in your daily life as you experience life, love, and abundance from a whole new perspective. This hit show will leave you feeling lighter and bring you into a place of infinite possibilities every day in every way. Visit TruthTalkRadioshow.com for upcoming transformative topics and guests.
How would you like to release your stress and let go of your anxiety, fear, depression, or even physical pain? How would you like to feel more relaxed, more confident, and experience more success in all areas of your life? Dave Dodge from Stress Buster Radio has a number of cutting-edge methods that will help you do just that. For more information on how Dave can help you release stress, visit StressBusterRadio.com. Skype and phone sessions available.
Hypnotized by drums until forever comes. She'll find us chasing the sun. They said this day wouldn't come, and we refuse to run.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Jen Zelop in the house. And, Jen, thank you so much. I know we've talked about a lot today. Trust is a really important conversation, a really important topic. Before we, before you continue, because I know you've got something, really, really passionate to share. Again, please give folks the best way to get a hold of you.
Sure. You can reach me at jenniferzelop.com. Visit the website. And, our goal is to bring lots of value to our public page for people to live their Thrive life, or reach out to me, Jen Zelop, on Facebook. I would love to hear from everybody and chat and hear your stories.
Awesome. We've talked quite a bit about trust and what it means. And, now we're talking about not conceptualizing what trust is, but how can we create a trust-based existence in our darkest moments?
So, which is when it really counts, right? Because when it's the old, right, when the going is good, it's great, but it's in those dark moments. So it was 5 years now when my husband and I decided to divorce, and it was big. It was major. It was a major decision and a huge change in life. I was coaching, but for the most part, I had stayed home with my boys to raise them. So I was getting back out again, reinventing myself, taking care of a home, raising two boys. My focus was to make this as smooth of a transition as possible for them. And it was devastating. I mean, it was a devastating time in my life. And I lost friends. I mean, besides losing my marriage, I lost a few of my closest friends. So I experienced even greater loss. And I would just sit and I would have those moments of fear, right? I mean, everything ran through my head. Like, what am I going to do? I'm going to be homeless. Am I going to get a job? Do I have to put my kids in? Like, what do I do? Like, what do I do with my kids? How do I pay the bills? How do a million of things ran through my head. And then I'd have those moments of, there's a bigger plan. There's a reason. There's I had a belief that, and I can say this because he's an amazing father and we're very good friends. But I believe that there was a plan out there for me. I believe that there must be a greater love. Then there must be, a different situation for my boys. And they're like, wonderful things are going to come from this. Like, I would just paint the scenario. And that's what trust is. Trust is dreaming, and trust is imagining. It's believing. So I would visualize, I would imagine, what can I do? I can reinvent myself so I can be anything I want. I can do anything that I want. I chose not to sit on that couch and panic. And trust me, I had panic moments. I'm not, but again, I didn't like that feeling of panic. I didn't like the feeling that fear, the decisions that fear would make me, right? Because fear would make me be snappy. Fear would make me be obnoxious, right? Fear took away my smile. So I didn't like that feeling. So I was like, there's something different, right? There's something better. Yeah. And at the time, I guess what me calling it trust is because I wanted to give a name to it, because I think one of the things that we like as the society that we live in now, right? We want something tangible. We need to know that the abstract is too much for us, right? Because hope is very abstract. Hope kind of floats out there, right? We can't always touch hope. Mm-hmm. So, but you can touch fear, right? Because there are situations that have happened in your life that's very fearful. We know fear.
Yeah, we know it. We know it when we've crossed the threshold.
Exactly. So, in going through my divorce, I just believed. Literally, I would talk myself through it. People would be like, Jen, what did you do? What did you do to trust and to have hope and believe? Right. I just made a decision. I would tell myself, it's going to be okay. This happened for a reason. Things are going to be better. Things are going to be great. I would, at the time it was selling a home, getting another house. What do you do? Like, you have people talking, right? You have to face your neighbors. You have to, all of a sudden everyone thinks that you have the Marriage of the Year award, and then you're showing up and, you have no more wedding rings and you have a name change on Facebook.
Right.
So literally I would, going into situations like that, I would have that conversation in my head. I'm like, it's going to be great. Everyone's going to be wonderful. This is going to be a happy moment, because that's what hope is. Hope is just that belief. And I hope I've given it enough tangible, feeling to it, because it's trusting that things happen the way they're supposed to happen, and you can run with it and do amazing things, or you can sit there in fear and be paralyzed and hide. Yeah. And, but it's so, if I could share with everybody that it's, the other side is so amazing. Like, it's amazing and wonderful things happen. And it doesn't mean that it doesn't make, I just don't live in the past. And that's what hope does. Fear is about living in the past and the future, right? You're living in the past about things you've lost or things that have happened. And then you're living in the future about what could happen. And it's usually not good. Yeah. But trust is here today. Trust is here. I'm in this moment with you guys right now, and I'm nowhere else. And that's what I want for all of you.
Wow, Jen, thank you so much for today. And thank you for sharing your story and sharing your heart. Again, what's the best way for people to find out more about you? What's the best way for people to connect with you directly, to work with you, all of the above?
If you visit jenniferzelop.com, you can reach me there. You can also always feel free to email me at jenniferzelop@yahoo.com or reach out to me on Facebook, Jen Zelop. I love to connect with people, chat, talk. And we also have a great, you can connect with me on Facebook, and we have a great closed Facebook group that we call Thrive that people are welcome to be part of. And it's just inspiration and motivation, you know. It's for those moments where you're about to pull your hair out and you're sad. And you just need to pick me up, and that's where you can find it.
You've been listening to Thrive by Jen with Jennifer Zelop and Dr. Pat Basile. Join us monthly to train your body, mind, and soul to operate as one. Because when you thrive, you shine on all levels and you can accomplish anything. For more information on how to excel down to your deepest being, visit thrivebyjen.com. And stay tuned for the newest Thrive by Jen on the Dr. Pat Show Network and Transformation Talk Radio.
The preceding audio was via a Skype call.